This is Vaughn Clement. This is part 2 of the CRM and project management main menu and tour that we're going to be doing on the second portion, where we're going to cover the project management aspects of this application. So let's go ahead and start. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the project management. We'll return back to some of these other icons. The project management screens are directly related to the effort that was done on the proposal side of this application, where marketing and operations have put together a budget. And what happens, that budget comes over in this area to the screen. So it gives a numeric value of labor, equipment, materials, other, and services. And then the actual budget that is minus the margin is over here, which would be what the company operations group would use in order to provide the services. You have a project to date and a project summary. Also, you have the project contract date and the schedule completion date. Obviously, here it explains what the project is about and the project number for this project. You can, once again, move, and this is important because the iPad uses this to move between different screens by clicking on the icon in the end of the row in order to go to a different project. The actuals, what happens is this is where we document the actual performance for the items that are related to this area above here, and we take those actuals based on labor, materials, and so forth in these particular screens. So as you go down through the screen, you'll see each one of these has an input area on a portal where you can take the information that is the actuals that are being done and then add them to here. And what they'll do is they'll summarize on each area and then back up to the top. Now there is an inventory for the materials in this particular application, where if you actually go to the materials and inventory section, you can pick costed items from there, and there's a material listing. And as you add those items to the material listing for whatever items you need to use, you could, for example, look at the list view. Now there are only a couple that are added in here as samples, but these would be the items that would be used if you had costed items from an inventory part of your application. And obviously these could fit across more projects depending upon what the actual item is, depending on the kind of business that you do. And there's an actual purchase area where you can see these things as you purchase them. Okay, it gives you a high and low quantity that are in inventory. Okay, let's go over here and look at the actual project estimate. The project estimate is a estimate that you would perform that you may send out to a client. It's up to you as far as if you're going to send an estimate. And what happens is this is broken down by a category or you can put it as an itemized list. But in this particular case, in most cases when you do an estimate, it kind of takes the global approach where it takes the summarization of several tasks or individual tasks and it summarizes them in a quote. So you do have the option to do an estimate before you actually do a proposal if you have a small project. The engineering company that I was in had projects that started from around $2,000 and went up to millions of dollars. And we kind of have a cap where we get up to about $7,000 before we move out of estimates and go into actually doing proposals, where an estimate might suffice up to $7,000. Okay, let's go back and take a look at the, go back to the main page, to project management again. And now you'll notice that there's an inventory up here that we talked about slightly, but it does allow you to add a number of items and actually see them in the listing. We already went through the estimate. Let's talk about a change order. The system does have a change order built into it where if you have a contract and it's contracted amounts within limits, and then you add more labor, materials, or whatever to the project, and it's now an amendment to the contract, you can then add those in as change orders, or you have the option to go back and create an adjunct additional project number and then re-estimate all the add-ons. So you have two ways you can go in here. Okay. Now, I have not gone through all the detail that is related to adding the individual items and how to budget and so forth. So that would be covered in the user guide, and we itemize it by field and explain each part of this so that you understand how this application works. This is only a tour of the high points. Thank you for taking this tour.